All right, guys, how you doing? You got Josh here with Ohio Fish Rescue. My buddy Ryan came over, bright and early. What is it, 10:30, 11 a.m.?
Oh, yeah.
We're out here. We already destroyed the backyard at attempt number 1. We tried getting these tanks back here, and it just did not work. The all got stuck, totally trenched the yard. It's just not possible. We were carrying one stand back here as a test run, and it completely failed. Yes, the stand is stuck in the middle of the backyard. We've managed to get the awl, or the mule, whatever you guys want to call it, unstuck. We had to do that. Now, my dad was a beast on that thing. It was his first time operating a mule. He's been operating forklifts for a very long time, but he did so by digging the forks down into the ground. So basically, angle them up, down into the ground, use the boom to push himself backwards. And we had to go forward all the way down there and then push himself backwards all the way up past the fish room. Absolutely destroyed this yard. But what we're here doing now is I'm gonna get a bunch of my buddies over here, and we're just gonna team lift this stand onto this back deck where we ripped it apart yesterday. So we were thinking we could just lift this stuff up and put it onto the back deck and slide it right in the pool room right there. But what we're doing right now is disconnecting everything from the stand. So right here we've got a Bellagio. This is an 8,000 gallon per hour pump. There goes a Hammerhead 6,000 gallon per hour. These are some smaller recirc pumps, 3,000 gallon per hour. But what we're doing, disconnecting everything from this stand. You guys see we've got this big Arctica chiller. We're just taking all the weight off the stand pretty much as we can, so we can be able to lift this beast out of here. So we're going to take this chiller off. That UV's coming out of there. We've got these cartridge filters coming out. Of course, the sump's probably going to stay, but I'm going to at least drain it of all of its water so it's a little bit easier on us. The protein skimmers are going to come off, and we're going to go ahead and set all this stuff inside and see what we can do here while we're waiting on reinforcements to arrive. Well, man, if you guys can just admire the size of these sumps. Now you can see that's how thick the acrylic is on these sumps. That's about, half-inch thick acrylic. They're, what is this, 32 inches wide, 3 foot tall, and they're 4 foot long. These chambers filled with biomedia are just massive. You've got these massive drip trays right here, all plumbed into 2-inch returns. You've got the returns from the protein skimmer blowing back into the bio balls. You've got your baffles down here, and then you've got some 500 watt heaters down in the sump, which that they were using to heat this bad boy. Ha ha ha, Mother Nature just giving us another letdown. It's gonna be pouring down rain here almost all day, but that can't be stopping us from unloading these tanks. You can see you've got a good portion of all that stuff off the stands now. We now carried it inside here. So I'm just stacking it up on this side so we can still have room to bring these stands in. Like I said, if I get enough guys, we can just manhandle the stands up onto the deck and call it a day. And then the tanks, we have a crazy idea that just might work. All right, guys, so here is stand number 2. We are out front. Same thing, you've got the chillers, big old UV light. It's power packed. These two are cartridge filters. Now, this is dual purpose. I get to show you guys everything. This is also a video schematic of the piping and how everything goes together. This is that Bellator pump I was telling you about, and of course the second Reef Octopus 8,000 protein skimmer. These things are just massive, but I'm gonna go ahead and clear this stand off like I just did the last one. So while we're out front, this is the beast of a machine that trenched the backyard. You can see there's still dirt on the forks from where we were trying to dig it in, but it got stuck. It even trenched the yard up here. And we still have these tanks sitting on top of the stake bed. So we're going to go ahead and unload these today as well. All right, guys, so while we're still dismantling the second stand here out front, We got some reinforcements arrived. Stephen Conroe came up with the 500 gallon stand. Ryan's buddy also showed up to give a helping hand. He's helped us year before. But to get back into fish tanks and fish tank accessories and all the good stuff, you see this big 5x5 by 5 foot wooden crate. Now, when we were up picking up these tanks, the guy was gonna throw this crate away. He said, if you guys want it, you can have it. There's some type of water feature on side, and inside, and it says, water sphere. So we're like, all right, just toss it up inside the truck. And we get it here last night, and probably about midnight or so, I go ahead and I jump into this crate and unveil everything. And inside this crate, yes, there is a round water feature right there. And then what looks to be some type of stand. So I start uncovering this, and you know what this turns out to be? Well, when I talked to the general, that's the dad on the show ATM, he asked me which tanks I actually got from the Bellagio. He asked if I got the massive tanks or the snow globe tank. Well, I told him we got the big 20-foot long monsters. We picked up both of them. And inside this crate is actually the snow globe aquarium. You guys can see here. That is just a big round acrylic sphere. The top's there. All the plumbing's down here on the bottom. There's a bunch of stuff underneath the stand. So we just got that snow globe aquarium for absolutely free, included in this deal with the stands. So with the tanks and stands. So we bought the tanks. We spent a good penny on it, but we got the snow globe aquarium too. Alright guys, here we are, day 2. We just took the sides off the stake bed. So we're gonna go ahead, he's gonna lift the tank up with the lift. I'm gonna drive this truck forward, and then he's gonna slowly lower the tanks down to the ground. We're gonna put them on rollers and roll them around to the back and the side. Alright, go down. good. Go right next to that garage. All right, Dad, come straight forward. Get off the grass. Come straight forward. Get off the grass. And it's also good when you have people that know how to listen and work together.
Right up against the house.
You guys are all awesome. I want you to know that.
Hey, before we put it up against the wall, make sure you,
Not no farther.
I would say we leave like a strap or something on the back side so you can pull it from off of the wall. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could probably get something underneath there,
We
but
can always get you the strap behind it. I think they're just going to sit here until we bust that hole in the wall and get inside. So it's sitting right here, we're good. We got to work on getting the next one off the trailer.
yeah, he said put that the wall.
Oh.
I moved the truck over. You can do it. It's fine.
For those of you watching, this is always the scariest part of moving a monster tank. You've got what? Close to $10,000 riding here. Yeah, we can. You always have to want to use the easiest way. Lift the tanks up, move the truck, lower the tanks. You don't want these tanks bouncing around on them forks.
Big Rich, this is going smoother than expected.
Yeah, but we're not going to make it into the house is the problem. We wanted them in the pool room. So now we got to get the truck taken back. So that's first thing, is get them off the truck. Got them on the rollers. If it was cement all the way around back, we could roll them around back and do it there. But this thing cannot go through the grass. It's sunk. It's a big turd. You should see my backyard. It's all tore up. push that out. The whole thing's going to go in that direction. You don't want to move just this, because then you're turning all the wheels.
I'm getting ready to push that way as they're pushing forward.
Right, perfect.
All right, you ready? 1, forward and that way, right next to that tank. 1, 2, 3. All
Now
right,
just forward.
straight forward. Straight forward.
You get their smiling faces.